All right, I'm gonna try to quickly, without boring you too much with the technical jargon, show you a technique that I like to use when I'm making pictures like this that makes my life a whole lot easier. And actually, I'm glad I learned how to do this because it's much better than the old way that I used to do it. All right, so yesterday I sent a video to a few friends, and in that video was basically me turning on the layers of this picture that I'm working on. So I'm going to turn them off right now. These blue marked layers here, and in the video that I sent yesterday, I turn them on. So all the work that I've done just appears on her face like this. Her eyeliner pops on there. The darkness under her eyes, the eye disease I haven't named here, that like bloodshot eye right there, and the iris, and then the texture for her skin. So once I sent that video to my friend, she replied and said, "You make it look so easy." And I laughed when I got that reply because you didn't see the work that went into doing all of this. You just saw the texture being, popped on and off there. So the point of this video is to show you that technique that I use for these things, and how it's not hard. It's not like, if you know how to do it, it's not hard, I should say. But this is the little bit of work that's involved in doing these things. So I'm going to use this little rusty texture right here, and I'm going to apply this to her face in a realistic manner, in a convincing way. So in order to start here, what I did was, to get this rusty texture, there was a picture that had this texture on it that I pulled this part off, and I want to put it on, like, my idea is to probably put it on her, like the corner of her mouth a little bit, maybe her lips, to give her like a little discolor there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink this down a bit, probably maybe something like this. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. And let's actually rename it Rust Drip. And of course, it doesn't look good right now. It just looks like a smear on a picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use something called Blend If, and I'm going to soften. Actually, before I do that, let's change the what's called the blend mode to soft light. This is going to make it more translucent, like see-through, and it looks kind of more like it's on her face right there. Now, all of these do different things for different textures and different opacities or whatever. So soft light is the one that I'm going to use for this one. And now I'm going to use Blend If, and I'm going to soften those edges a little bit and make the texture not so obvious, maybe is the word, maybe not. Okay, it's a fine dance to figure out the sweet spot. You know what? I'm kind of good with that, I think. Yeah. Okay, let's leave it there. I may not even be keeping this texture there. I might use something else. This is just for the purpose of this video. Okay, so I think what I want on her lips in the corner of her mouth there, and like dripping down here. So this is the part that I want right here. I don't really want that smear. Maybe I'll keep this one. No, I don't want this big smear here. And there's some like on her hair and her ear and on her cheek right there. So I don't want any of that. So this is the technique. I'm going to use what's called a mask, an inverted mask. And when I hold Alt and click this button down here, the texture looks like it disappears. It vanishes. It's actually still there, but it's hidden under this black square. And in order to reveal the parts that I want, I'm going to take my brush here and I'm going to use white for light and black is for dark. So I pick white as my foreground color. And now all I have to do, because this is still here, this texture is still here, all I have to do is just start painting with my white brush, and I reveal what's underneath, essentially. So it'll only be that texture too. I can paint all over this picture, it doesn't matter. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to paint on her lips, just like this. And I'll keep this little one right here, and this is the one I don't want, so I'll just, over here, I'll change my color to black for dark, and I will paint out the parts that I don't want. And kind of how that works. And let's go one step further. So let's not make this video too long for you to watch, too boring. I'm going to add an adjustment layer, and I'm going to change the hue saturation. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold Alt, and the little square that appears there, I'm going to lock this hue saturation layer to this rust drip layer, which is right here. And I'm going to change the saturation and the color, maybe the lightness as well. Yeah, lightness down a little bit. Saturation, let's not have the same color as our hair. And you can change the color too. This is very subtle. I'm not too sure what kind of color I want it to be. Let's try colorize. And then change the color this way. Maybe that's okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to keep this texture. But you get the idea of what I'm doing here. Alright, let's turn that down. Subtle works way better for things like this. But there you go. So you can't really see much on her lips there, but on this side of her mouth and stuff you can. So yeah, so that's how that works. And this is the layer right here. That used to be. Oh, let's see if I'll just undo it. That used to be this. Anyway, yeah, there you go. Here's a boring Photoshop video for you for today. Thanks for watching.